Welcome back to the world of Randall Williams and the first official video of 2025. Happy New Year to you all and happy holidays. I hope that over the holiday break you were able to get some much needed rest and spend some quality time with your family, friends, and whoever you spend the holidays with. I think that's what the holidays are for. Just, being able to be with your family and see people who you don't normally see all the time. I don't know where everyone's based, but I live a good distance away from my family, so being able to see my mom and my brothers and my grandparents and my dad and dad, don't take offense to that. My mom, dad, my brothers, my grandparents, and my aunts and uncles and cousins of sort is always just good. It brings me peace, and then you reflect on 2024, and 2024 was really good to me, and I'm looking forward to 2025. And so, to start the year, I have a 2025 wish list that I put together. It has 10 things on it. But before we get to that, I'm going to be eliminating the intro to my YouTube videos because of the fact that I feel like it's a little bit repetitive. You see the name of my channel, I think putting an intro and an outro that essentially says the exact same thing doesn't really serve a purpose. If you're clicking it, then you're probably clicking it because the image or the title tell you exactly what you need to know. The intro of having sports and music and film and other categories are cool, but the title's going to tell you exactly what the subject is going to be, anyways. So it kind of defeats the purpose. Anyways, let's jump into this 2025 wish list. I have it right here. Um, let's get out of the way with some Fantasyland requests. I have three Fantasyland requests. Number one, we need a Hove album. A lot has happened this year. I don't think that we get one until this case goes away, whatever the result is. Um, but a Hove album, I think, would be lovely. There's a lot that he could say. There's a lot I think he could respond to, and one of the things I think people love about Jay Z is the fact that he addresses everything in the music, whatever um, statement or whatever if you're wondering what he thinks, it's going to come out on the music. So hope we get that at some point in 2025. I think the timing of it, maybe fall, maybe after the summer. I feel like Kendrick is going to run a good portion of summer 2025 after the Super Bowl and whatever PG Lang and TDE have lined up between that and the GNX and or the Grand National Tour. Um, Number two, a Frank Ocean album. Now I'm old enough to remember when the fans were trying to bully Frank Ocean online into releasing music, and there was so much speculation as to when his second album would release. He had posted dates and then blew past those dates, and it just became this whole thing. And since I guess that album released in 2016, I can't believe it's been 8 years since then. Blonde is actually on my wall right up there, but uh, we haven't heard from him in a long time. The last thing I remember hearing about Frank was SZA asked. I think there was a fan who asked something about Frank Ocean being on a the Weekend remix, the SZA song that came out on Control, and SZA said she would ask Frank. Nothing ever came of that. But he hasn't released music in a very, very long time. His site is still active. He still sells merchandise and vinyls, but it's been a long time. I think Frank Ocean, if he was more present in music, he'd be one of the more dominant R&B forces there is today. At this point, he's just a ghost, and we live by if you lived in the moment of when Channel Orange released and when Endless released and when Blonde released, and I'm forgetting the first one. Oh, someone's gonna kill me. But if you lived in those moments, then you know that and you enjoy the music, then that music means something to you. But until then, I've grown accustomed to waiting for my favorite artist's music. Number three on the fantasy wish list is an Andre 3000 album. We need that. Three Stacks is way too good at rapping to not give us just one album. We got a flute album. It is great studying music, great sleeping music, great um what do you call it? Meditation music. Now it's time to put some pen to the paper. it's time for you to rap. Uh, those are my three. I if I had to guess which one could come true, I think the whole album feels like that could happen the most. But those other two, I'm better off playing the Powerball. Anyways, number 10 on my list. I need Invincible season 3 to go crazy. I need that to go crazy. I think the first episode releases February 6th, I believe the date is. So right before the Super Bowl. Hold on, I'm checking. Invincible season 3 release. Ooh, that's not release. Yes, February 6th. I had it right. I need this season to go crazy. Season 2 I thought was really good. It's not as good as season 1. The reason that I think season 2 did not hit as hard as season 1 is because of the fact that they had that long break between 1 and 2, and it just took a lot of momentum away. I think it had the momentum stayed up, that it would have had maybe not as much of a cultural impact as season 1, but it still would have been right there and been on the same wavelength. Season 3, though, we got to take it up a notch. We need, I'm not going to spoil any arcs, but we need some of these arcs that are in the comics, we need them to end the season. I was watching the trailer again, and I picked up on something that I didn't watch the first, or I didn't see the first time. And I think we're going to get a very, very important storyline in those episode 7 and 8. Woo! I can't wait. I can't wait. That's what I need. I want Invincible to do really, really well because as of this recording, Rob Kirkman said that he's hoping to do 8 seasons of Invincible. That is great news. It means they may not have to skip over as many essential plot lines. I think that it's just great news. Great news for Invincible to be 8 seasons. This is a pivotal season to really kick things off and get to what I believe to be a incredible Game of Thrones type of run that Invincible can go on. And I know that's big shoes to fill. I know what I'm saying because I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan too. But Game of Thrones went on a run of, like, you could say season 2 through 6. You could say season 1 through 6. You could say 1 through 7. I think we can all agree that 8 is trash. 7 is good. The pacing is kind of off in 7 a little bit, especially when Daenerys flies over the wall in a day. But that, I would say, seasons 2 through 6, Game of Thrones is just peak. So I think Invincible can get a run like that together. Number 9, I want another Jid album. Jid had a very quiet 2024. I think that Dreamville's in an interesting spot moving forward. Cole has done an incredible job of winning the hearts and minds of fans over again. I don't know that he ever lost it, but that was the internet perception. And being at that 2014 Forest Hills Drive 10-year anniversary show at Madison Square Garden just goes to show that the internet is not all reality. And I think, in particular with Dreamville artists, at the time of the Kendrick, I was just going to say the Great Rap War. At the time of the Great Rap War, it felt like that, even Cole said it himself on the Dreamville stage that, everyone was waiting on Cole, like, oh, I want blood, you better kill him, yada, yada, yada. And it didn't go that way. And it kind of froze a lot of things for the rest of the year. I don't think, Ari Lennox didn't drop. I don't think, but like, there just wasn't a lot of music that came out of Dreamville. So I'd be interested to know where's Jid's head at, not only just on like the rap side of things, but the Forever Story, which is right, by the way, right there. Uh, that was one of my favorite albums of 2022. And I don't know why it didn't get the reception that I would have wanted it to. Like, I think it was critically acclaimed, and everyone who was a big rap fan, uh, I think enjoyed it. I also think that he has another level that he can reach, And I think another really good album could do that. He's had the surround sound. I think Dance Now was really good. Radar is one of the best JID songs ever. What does JID have to say in 2025 to us, whether that be the album with Metro? We just need some JID raps. We need some JID raps. Number nine. Oh, excuse me. That was number nine. Number eight. Do we get a Doechii album? I think Alligator Bites Never Heal is phenomenal. It was my album of the year. I think that she should coast and ride that wave until it runs out. But at the same time, strike while the iron's hot. I understand that strategy as well. And so if we get the Doechii album next year, I'll be ecstatic. I think that this Denial is a River show that is going to release at the top of the year, combined with uh whatever is going on between TDE and PG Lang for the Grand National Tour, as well as the Super Bowl performance, maybe the 25th anniversary TDE album. Doechii is somewhere in the mix. Uh, Maybe she opens up on the Grand National Tour. Not sure, but a Doechii album would be cool. If it came out in 2026, though, I wouldn't be upset either. I am. She is. If I had to put all my money on one artist being a superstar right now, it would be her, because she just can do it all. She can rap really well. I think she can sing well, and Alligator Bites Never Heal has not left my rotation since it's been out, and I'm excited for her. Number 7, we need Avatar Fire and Ash, James Cameron's third installment in the Avatar series. Now, there's something going on with James Cameron, man. Before I go any further, I want to say that I don't find it a coincidence that Avatar The Last Airbender has earth, fire, water, and air. Now, listen, Avatar 1, don't think we really got any of those themes. But Avatar 2, what'd you do? You went to water. Avatar 3, you doing fire. Hey man, you better be careful. You better be careful, because them Avatar creators, they don't play. They left the Netflix show, and if they get the sense that there is some identity or trademark infringement or whatever the case is going to be careful. Anyways, now that I can get past that, really looking forward to that. The Avatar films are just they've been an emotional journey. I think the first one is a classic. The second one is really good. I want to see where else it goes. I think there's 5 of them, maybe 4 or 5 of them in the mix. Hopefully they release back to back so we don't have to continue to wait forward to 10 years or however long when the second one came out, and the first one came out and God knows when. But incredible films. They're one of the few films that really just take you into the world where, I mean, when you sit down in that movie theater, you do not want to get up. It's just one of those things. And then after you get done, you want to go see it again and again and again, just because it just enters you into a different world. I'm really looking forward to that. That releases sometime in December, I believe. I think it'll cross the $2 billion mark again, as long as the movie is good. These movies are just different. They're different. Number 6, Kendrick, we need you to do what you said on GNX. We need you to double back like a deluxe. As I've said before dozens of times, my guessing as far as what Kendrick has planned has been all wrong. I thought that he would release an album on Super Bowl Sunday. He released GNX on a surprise drop in November. I thought that he would announce a tour on Super Bowl Sunday. After my first guess was wrong, the Grand National Tour was announced shortly after the GNX album. So I'm all wrong. I don't know what's coming from PG Lang and Kendrick Lamar, but DJ Head and Absol were on Instagram Live speaking last year now, and they said that he has more. Now, what that means, I'm not sure, because Kendrick just hasn't been very present. And what I mean by that is he does not speak a lot if it's not through music. And so if you're not speaking a lot unless it's through music, then I think GNX is a really good problem. It's also, really good album. It's also his shortest album since the mixtape days, really. I mean, I think it runs 42 or 44 minutes, and it does not appear to have any theme the same way that Mr. Morale and Damn and To Pimp a Butterfly and Good Kid, Mad City and Section 8. It doesn't have a theme. It just feels like I'm here. And I would like more of whatever this energy is. Straight up. I think that he was raps, or I would say he's the artist of the year for 2024. And to continue that in 2025, I think the Super Bowl performance is going to be great. I think that the tour will probably be phenomenal. But how do you keep this momentum going? I think that need more music. And GNX feels like a summer album in a sense. Like a lot of these songs are outside songs, and we'll experience that when the tour happens. But of course, I think that more music should come. So Kendrick, if you're listening to this, drop again. Drop again. Number 5, I want Superman, the new movie from James Gunn, to be a hit. James Gunn has taken over the DC creative direction and studios. He's spearheading the entire thing. He's announced a bunch of different projects. And the first one is Superman. It has to be good. Otherwise, they might not continue making movies. And I'm a bigger DC fan than I am a Marvel fan. I'm a fan of both, but DC heroes are my favorite. You can see Batman Beyond up there. You can see Kid Flash. You can see Batman Arkham Knight. There's Flash up there. There's Red Robin over there. So I have a bunch of, and Superman is around here, I think. But I want Superman to do really well so that the DC movies can get off to a good start. There's a lot of projects coming, whether that be the Green Lantern show, Creature Commandos is already out. The Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, I think that's what it's called, Woman of Something. A Supergirl movie just cast Jason Momoa as Lobo. Incredible casting. I think he fits that way more than he fit Aquaman. He's a good Aquaman, but the writing was a little weird throughout some of those films. But Superman, I think it has to be good. Now, I do think there are big shoes to fill for Henry Cavill, because Henry Cavill looks like Superman. He looked like Superman in the suit. Like, I don't know that you can get a person who identifies with the role more than Henry Cavill. I just think he fell victim to Zack Snyder's world, and those movies didn't particularly do well. Whether that was Man of Steel was good, then Wonder Woman I thought was meh. Batman vs Superman was trash. Justice League was trash. Flash was garbage. Like a bunch of these films just didn't do well, and I think he just got unlucky. So the Superman movie, the trailer was really fun. I'm looking forward to when the movie releases, but it has to do well. It has to do well. There's so much holding on that. Number 4, we need a Penguin season 2. And the reason for that, I'm really saying this with some anger in my heart, because Matt Reeves, it was just announced that the Batman Part 2 will not release until 2027, which means instead of waiting 21 or 22 months, we now have to wait potentially 34 or 33 or 32 months until the next Batman. And obviously the Batman is a classic to me. I mean, I've rewatched it so many times because it's what you want out of a comic book movie. The bar was raised. That is Batman. I think the Penguin was an incredible installment into the Reeves verse, or the Batman verse. And right now it sounds like the Batman is going to be in James Gunn's Elsewhere or Elseworld. I think it's Elseworld, Elsewhere, something like that, where the universe is separate from his. That's fine. But Matt Reeves, at some point, we got to get working. Now, James Gunn did have a worthy response to this. He said that a lot of films take time to release, and that's true. As I said earlier, with artists, I've grown accustomed to waiting a long time for albums. Kendrick comes to mind, SZA comes to mind. Who else? Frank. Um, it just happens. So whenever it comes, I hope to God I'm alive for it. But we need a Penguin season 2 in the meantime because I think Penguin season 1 is good. There's a lot of storylines that I think Matt Reeves and the writers of the Penguin could take on. We could see Penguin versus Two Face. We could see Penguin versus Black Mask. He's getting into politics, and I feel like this is a really good time for Oz to either be drugged back into the underworld or go toe to toe with Harvey Dent, who becomes the district attorney. And then, Oz could help, or they just could go to war. I think that that would be a really interesting season 2 of the Penguin. And with 3 years, or I guess 2 years until the movie, why not? Why not? Eh, I'm lying. Maybe that should come out after the Batman Part 2, because if Matt Reeves has to work on a season 2 of Penguin, then we might not ever get Batman Part 2. So I do want Penguin season 2 to be announced. That is the wish list request. The release date, I don't give a damn. Just make it come out. Number 3, I would like a new Isaiah Rashad album. Zaywap has not, I can't believe it's been 4 years since the Sun's, excuse me, The House is Burning has released, but a lot has happened. I think that he released a song a couple weeks ago, I guess it would be months ago now, called Sun Story with Cal Banks. Just a really good song. Really good song. A lot has happened for Isaiah Rashad in recent years, some of which I don't want to speak on just because I feel like he has to, where he was, revealing video came out, but that's all I'll say about it. I'm interested to know what is his musical approach, what comes next. Hasn't been as many snippets as there were when, The House is Burning was coming out. I'm okay with that. I think that snippets can do good and bad for artists. They can tremendously increase the hype, but also increase the level of uh, anger and rage and um, frustration from fans that they have towards artists when they want people to put out music. So, need a new Isaiah Rashad album. Uh, Hope it drops. Number 2, this is a selfish request. We need Shador Sanders on the New York Giants or the Las Vegas Raiders. It doesn't look like the Raiders are going to happen. They've just won too many games to close out the year. But at the time, 2-3 weeks ago, the Raiders were in position to draft a quarterback. It doesn't look like they're going to be anymore. The reason I'd say the Raiders is because Tom Brady is there. That is someone Shador Sanders is close with. I think that having a quarterback just tremendously elevates the franchise. And I think it's Aiden O'Connell who's there now. He's played well. Has he played well enough to earn the starting spot? I don't know. And at this point in time, it feels like he's a bridge quarterback. I would move Max Crosby and some other picks to go get Shador. If I'm the Giants, you got to get him. I feel like Shador in the New York market, especially with the train wreck, the shipwreck, whatever you want to call it, the dumpster fire that the New York Jets have been, Shador would be incredible here. I think that the NFC East is for the taking every year. I mean, they've gone 20 years or something like that, some crazy amount of years without a repeat division champion. They have a lot of talent. Tyrone Tracy, Malik Neighbors. The defense of the Giants is actually really good. They just stay on the field forever because the offense can't score. So if you bring in Shador and then you draft really well on the back end, I'd be really interested to see what that looks like. I hope Shador goes to the Giants. I think it'd be good for him. I think that, you know, the same effect that Jaden Daniels had on the Commanders, I think Shador could have on the New York Football Giants. So that's my selfish request and the only sporting one that I have on here. Number 1 is another selfish request. I'd like 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. It's a goal I have in mind. I have 34 currently. I know I can do it. I appreciate all the support thus far. My goal is to be more consistent, to listen, read more about how to build this channel successfully, and continue to create content that you all will enjoy. That is my 2025 wish list. To go over it again, we want Invincible Season 3 to go crazy. That's number 10. Number 9, we want a new Jid album. Number 8, a new Doechii album. Number 7, Avatar, Fire and Ash. Number 6, we need a Kendrick GNX Deluxe or another new album. We need Superman at number 5. We need Superman to be a hit. Number 4, the announcement of Penguin Season 2. Number 3, a new Isaiah Rashad album. Number 2, Shedeur Sanders to the New York Giants or the Las Vegas Raiders. And number 1, 1,000 subscribers to the world with Randall Williams. Thank you all for tuning in. Let me know what you all think of my wish list and what will happen and what you all think won't happen. That's all I got for you all today. Happy New Year. I hope you all celebrated, and I'll see you all next time.